What's up, Transformdom? This is Ben here in China, and today I'm gonna do a huge, humongous, giganticus product review of the FansToys FT-20 Terminus Giganticus. Woo! This is FansToys' masterpiece interpretation of Omega Supreme. And right off the bat, we got package A here and package B. Box A, which has a red grid background, and box B with a blue grid background. In the front of the boxes, you have a painted artwork of Omega Supreme in BART mode. On the sides, you have Terminus Giganticus with big, bulky, masculine font. And on the other side is exactly the same. At the top of the box, you have an artwork of Omega Supreme in the alt mode. And the same thing at the bottom of the box. And at the back of the box, you got the bio for Terminus Giganticus. So if you like to read the bio, just pause the video. We also have actual product shots of Terminus Giganticus in the BART mode and in the alt mode. And before we crack this guy open, let's do some box comps. As you can see, compared to an MP Seeker box, the box for Terminus Giganticus is taller, wider, and box A is definitely thicker than the MP box, but box B is about the same size. Alright, without further ado, let's crack this guy open. Open the wrong way there. You got your instruction manual and the bio card. Yeah, everything is still in frame. So what do we have in the box? You got an alternate crotch plate. You got an alternate chest plate. You got two tracks or shoulder wings. You got the big old tank. Woo, he is heavy. Wow. Right off the bat, there's some swirly plastic bits here. Swirly plastics everywhere. Unpainted plastics. Swirly plastic bits. I think these are stickers on the side. They feel like stickers, right? You got QC checked. Threads that roll somewhat. And ratcheted turret. So, oh, the face of Omega Supreme. And you got, this is an extra helmet windshield guard, and you got the shoulder part of Omega Supreme. Alright, and here we have part B. We've got the arm claw, and this is where you can put a battery and have him light up, I guess. The other arm, I think this is a light up piece as well. And then you have his legs, pretty hefty, I guess. And there you go, 2 legs. So I don't know what to do from here. He's neither in the alt mode nor is he in the BART mode. So let's start off with the alt mode. Here we had Omega Supreme in the BART mode, and I couldn't get him to the alt mode first, so managed to get him in the BART mode. So let's do a BART review. My initial thoughts is that there's a lot of plastic swirling. Plastic swirling here, plastic swirling there, swirls here, swirls there, swirls everywhere. Kind of reminds me of MP11 Starscream. And I think it's just because of the way that the plastic is injection molded into the mold and the way it settles and as it cools. And so they could have used a different formulation perhaps, or they could have set the injection molding process a little differently. That's my opinion. Not an expert in plastic injection molding, but I did work in a plastic company once. But despite of the surface imperfection, we have pretty good coloring throughout the figure. So let's pan down. Throughout the figure, you got small little painted details. The chest piece here, the wings, the arms, thighs, the calves, the feet, And throughout the figure we have tempo printing, like here on the arms, on the calves, and even on the side. Looking at the face sculpt, I think FansToys did a pretty decent job with Terminus Giganticus. I think that FansToys have improved on the lip sculpture of their butts, and now these lips look more humanoid than previous pouty gorilla lips that we've seen in the past. Let's compare Terminus Giganticus with the cartoon, shall we? Now right off the bat, I should say that overall FansToys nailed the cartoon aesthetic. The areas where FansToys designed this guy pretty well are the shoulders and shoulder pad areas, the iconic claws, the detailing on the thighs, as well as the detailing on the feet. The chest area is also detailed quite accurately, with most cartoon episodes featuring this grey chest piece, but in some episodes we don't have that. If I were to nitpick in terms of what FansToys designed very well, this piece here is designed very well, looks quite close to the cartoon, but FansToys did add their little painted details, and FansToys did a pretty decent job around the crotch area. The areas where FansToys deviated from the cartoon source are the surface detailing on the forearms, the number of track pieces on the wings. In my opinion, one big missed opportunity in which FansToys could really make this Omega Supreme look like the cartoon is the fact that these details here are not accentuated. Another area where FansToys just missed the boat in terms of cartoon accuracy are these shin plates. In the cartoon episode, most drawings have the shin plates extended a little over the knee. In a lot of the pictures that I've seen online, this kind of bothered me. But I saw a couple of review videos where the angle of the reviewer's camera, I guess, did not accentuate this problem. And so I decided to buy this guy because of the reliability that FansToys have in terms of post-customer service. In hand, this thing doesn't really bother me, but there are times when I look at it from different angles and I feel that this shin plates here is just not tall enough. But this is a very easy replacement that FansToys can give us. Cartoon accuracy aside, this is a well-built toy. You got your classic strong ratchet joints all over the figure. The plastic quality feels fantastic. The plastic color choices made throughout the figure really does look like what we see in the cartoon. However, there are a couple of areas in which FansToys could have improved on. The first area is the way that you have to stand Omega Supreme. Right now I have legs facing outwards and this is great. However, I think that the backpack is a little too heavy. If you move the leg pieces of Terminus Giganticus just a little bit, it has a tendency to... well, I guess not. I take it back. It is pretty steady even if you face the legs forward. In my copy, maybe because of a mistransformation, this backpack here doesn't clip in altogether that well. Another gripe that I think most of the fandom has are the exposed knee pieces here. And I think that with a higher shin guard, that should hide this exposed knee a little more. Or perhaps we could have a little piece of plastic that comes up from under here that will hide the exposed knees. In terms of articulation, let's see what action poses Omega Supreme can do. Here's my feeble attempt at the two-handed ninja sword swing. Right off the bat, how can he do it? But the purpose of the action pose is to see if he has a butterfly joint. No! You can't do the two-handed ninja sword swing. And here's another feeble attempt at the Ironman 3-point landing. The massive weight of the backpack and the way that it's connected to the torso of butt, everything just is gonna fall apart. It's already disassembling. So no way can Omega do the Ironman 3-point landing. The next action pose is Omega Supreme getting punched real hard in the abs, and this is supposed to simulate an ab crunch, which he does not have, and any toe articulations, which he does not. The next action pose is trying to get Omega Supreme to do the Running Man pose. We saw an episode in The Secret of Omega Supreme where Omega Supreme, even though he was a big bulky bot, he could run like the Bolt. And can Omega Supreme here do it? No, because once I let this thing go, everything is going to collapse. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Yeah. There you go. And he's falling backwards. Lean him against the wall. And so we can't get Omega Supreme to do any of the action poses. At least not in the short time frame that I've got. But onwards to comparisons. Optimus Prime, Grimlock, Inferno, Perceptor, Ironhide, Sideswipe, Bumblebee, and Megatron. So let's get on and do some cartoon throwbacks. And here we have Omega Supreme in the out mode, and what can I say? It looks massive. It's like a big gigantic toy for adult. You have your tracks that curves here and your tracks that curves there and a ramp that goes up and down, and you got your base. Kind of looks like it's connected, right? But it's not. And you got your on ramp that goes in here, and then you got your rockets, and you got your big old tank that's over there. Right, let's try to get a closer look without me actually going down on the floor. So I gotta zoom in to take a closer look at the individual pieces that make up the out mode. Let's take a look at the tank first. So the tank is massive and hefty. Got some die-cast pieces in the tank, but these die-cast pieces are mainly for transformation, so that when you transform this guy, things will not snap off. At the bottom of the tank, you got these moving assist wheels, but you also got movable threads. Now this threads here on the rear end of the tank moves easily, but the threads on the front, because of the way it is designed, because this piece here slants upwards to the front of the tank, in order to move these bottom pieces, you create a lot of tension here. So the threads will not move forward easily, but it does move backwards easily. So this is a flaw in terms of the design, especially if you do not have any assist or mechanized parts in the rims. Not much articulation. You got some turrets here, you got some tempo stickers here. Danger, danger, because you know you got firepower coming up from these things. I don't really know what this non-charge means. Perhaps some of you engineer folks will be able to tell me. The turret moves very nicely up and down, lots of articulation, and you got somewhat of a control panel that's supposed to be there, but it isn't. Now let's look at the tracks a little closer, and you can see that this piece of the U shape of the track, it comes from the wings, and there's some lining in here and lining over there that helps guide the tank. On the straight line, it's quite easy for the tanks to be guided along these linings over here, okay? The problem is the tank is quite large, and it becomes a task to try to get the tank to turn while it's on the tracks. As you can see, the tank is coming loose. So what could be improved is that the turn radius could be reduced. But once the tank is on the straight path, it's easy to maneuver it up and down along this ramp, but not along the curves of the tracks. Another point on the alt mode is that we got some painted details and tempo stickers. I like these arrows that points towards the rocket, and so that's kind of cool. And there's another tempo sticker here which says no stepped. Now I think this is a mistranslation from Chinese, because I just noticed that these ramps, the bottom parts, they do pop up. So if I reach to the bottom, these pieces move up and down. The rocket also has a no step tempo stickers, and if you look, I can open up the ramp to, so I'm thinking that this no step word should actually mean keep clear, right? You have to keep clear of moving parts so that during transformation, smaller transformers will not get squashed or displaced. Looking at the base of the rocket, you can see that there's only a couple of places where you can articulate, which are these on-ramps that you can move. There's also a couple of tempo stickers on the right and left, and this tempo sticker that says danger. This is where the rocket fire comes out from, so that's pretty cool. And there's some painted details on the hose pieces. So the rocket is basically molded in this gray plastic piece. There's some swirling involved as well. There's some tempo stickers here, which I don't know what it means. None. I have no idea what that means. Some other details over here. Some triangular pointy pieces that indicates the claws. Some other details here. At the bottom is a piece which can light up. On one side of the rockets, there is a piece which you can open up. It will open up an on-ramp. And you can slide this piece open, and there you go. Also, we have these liners out here that can basically rest on this part of the rocket. So if you put the rockets in like this part here may droop down, all right? But if you line up the rockets like so, like this way, these pieces can rest on the rocket sides. What I find a bit disappointing is that in some cartoon episodes, you have the base of the rocket and the rocket itself launch up and fly off somewhere for some mission. But these things are just rested nicely on there. Here is Optimus Prime on the tracks, and you can see how big the wheels are. Actually wider than the track pieces down here that lines up. And so if I were to try to drop Optimus down, it will just roll off the tracks, right? No matter what angle I do it, it will just roll off the tracks. So Optimus Prime is a little bit big compared to the size of the tracks. What about Grapple? Right, so Grapple is still a little wider than the linings of the tracks. So when I try to roll Grapple down, it will roll off the track. What if I just do it here? It rolls a little bit, but again, the turn radius of the track is a little bit tight, and so a long vehicle like Grapple will have difficulty turning. Now we have a Carbot, and the Carbot, the wheels are a little wider than the tracks provided, so it can roll, and then it'll roll quite nicely along the inner tracks, right? So that's pretty cool. Finally, we have a Minibot, and the Minibot's wheels are right inside the track, so it makes it quite nicely. Although the front end of this car is imbalanced and the rear end of the car is heavy, the car tends to go off the tracks because of the heavy back end. But if I were to turn the car over, it turns nicely. So look at that. So it's real fun to play with the car along these tracks because the tracks really does guide the wheels, you know, so it's pretty fun. You can whee. Now let's see how easy it is to move the tank along the tracks. It gets a bit harder to move again because of the turn radius. And so here you have a quick comp with all the vehicles and Omega Supreme. I think the base is just a little small. And here you got Omega Supreme compared to Grimlock and Starscream in the alt mode. And you can see the size. The base itself, while it's a fun toy, while it transforms into a big, massive, in-scaled, but the alt mode is just a bit small. So that's FansToys Terminus Giganticus or Omega Supreme for you. So what do I think about this guy? So let me point out 3 good things I like about this guy, and then 3 things I think could have been improved. First thing, I really do like the balance it has in terms of size and heft. It doesn't feel flimsy. I could manhandle this and I wasn't afraid of breaking it. I've held the Generations Metroplex before, the Titan size Metroplex, and it felt a little whimsy, but this guy is good amount of heft. The second thing I like about this guy, for a big butt, he can really balance. I mean, there are times his backpack does get a little heavy and balancing Omega Supreme can be a bit of a chore. But I mean, come on, look at this. This is like a yoga stance. The third thing I like about this guy is that in terms of design and sculpture and detailing, it's a good mix between the old MP10 style designs where you have extra detailed that will allow this to blend well with the MP10 series. However, it's also simple enough. I mean, you see a lot of that simple elegance that blends well with the modern masterpiece aesthetics as well. So it's a very good blend with that. What about the three things I think that could have been improved? Well, the first thing is there's a lot of plastic swirling basically. For a big part, I don't expect FansToys to paint it, but I expect the finishing to be better. The second thing I think that could have been improved about this guy is the amount of articulation. I mean, even though this is a big butt, lack of articulation is something that can be desired. I think it's mainly due to the choice of plastic materials used for the upper part of the butt. I mean, maybe they could have formulated something that's a little lighter that will allow more articulation. I mean, we're talking about the official Masterpiece toys becoming very articulated. And the third thing I think FansToys could have done better is some of the design choices they have made in terms of sculpting and finishing. For example, this part here around the side of the body, the sculpting is there, but it's just not highlighted, and that is distinctively Omega Supreme. The shin guards should be pointed a little bit higher. That is distinctively Omega Supreme. They could have done better. And also the gaping holes when Omega bends his knees. So, would I recommend FansToys Terminus Giganticus? I'm having a bit of reservation in giving a full absolute recommendation. Why? Because of the various flaws that I think is pretty pronounced for a FansToys figure. Swirling plastic, the design choices in some areas, the hefty backpack. I think most folks will prefer to wait for DX9 Gabriel to come out, and hopefully someone can make a video comparison between the two and be honest with the fans. In my case, the reason why I ultimately chose FansToys is because I know how easy it is for anyone in America, in China, anywhere in the world to email Dalian JJ and say, help me, I've got a broken part. But that's my opinion. What are your opinions? Please leave them in the comment section below. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button. Again, this is Ben in China, signing off, and I'll see you on the flip side.